What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball is in Maui right now, gearing up for the Maui Invitational. Michigan State plays at 5 o'clock, second game of the day on ESPN2 against Colorado. We're going to go over the field for Michigan State in the Maui Invitational this year. We're going to preview Colorado a little bit, but kind of the tournament as a whole going in and what would be a successful trip for Michigan State. Before we do jump in though, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. More Michigan State basketball content on the channel. We'll be here with previews, recaps for all three of Michigan State's games in Maui this week. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So before we do jump into Colorado, going over the field right now, it is obviously Michigan State, it is Auburn, it is Colorado, Dayton, Iowa State, Memphis, North Carolina, and defending two-time back-to-back national champions, UConn. So first game of the day on Monday is Memphis versus UConn. That'll be at 2:30, ESPN2 as well. Second game of the day, Michigan State, Colorado, 5 o'clock, ESPN2. Then Auburn, Iowa State, game 3 at 9 o'clock. That game will be on ESPNU. And then Dayton versus North Carolina. Make sure you have an extra cup of coffee or tea, 11:30 tip for Dayton, North Carolina. So Michigan State's path to potentially who they could play in this thing. They will play Colorado. Then they will play the winner or the loser, depending on the result of this game. They will either play UConn or Memphis. Then obviously have the opportunity to play either North Carolina, Dayton, Iowa State, or Auburn on Wednesday. So just going over the schedule, because something that's what I like to always look at as well is game 2 for Michigan State will be on Tuesday. If they win this game, they will be on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If they lose Monday's game, however, it will be on Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon. So really hoping for a win, not just because we want to see Michigan State to win, but do not want to be playing a 3:30 game and have to watch this game at work for a majority of people. So, and then if Michigan State is in that, if they win this game and they also win the game against either UConn or Memphis, the championship game on Wednesday is at 5 o'clock. If they are in the loser bracket, consolation bracket, whatever you want to call it, and they win that game, they will be playing at 2:30 on Wednesday. If they lose that second game, they will be playing at 12 o'clock, noon, not midnight, on Tuesday. So that's kind of the bracket there. Obviously, you can look that up, but obviously a really, really tough field. Michigan State kind of got a good draw in terms of the first round, as Colorado is the lowest ranked team per Bart Torvik in this tournament at 107. That does not mean this will be an easy game, however, for Michigan State. They have a couple guys averaging over 14 points a game. Andrea Jakumovics, I know I absolutely destroyed that name, so I apologize, but averaging 14.3 points per game, shooting about 36% from 3, and also adding in 5.3 rebounds. The other guy they have averaging over 14, actually right at 14, Elijah Malone, averaging 14, about 6 rebounds a game, and shooting 33% from 3, and shooting about 65-ish% from the field. Trevor Baskin averaging 7 rebounds a game, 6.8 rebounds for Hassan Diop. So they have some guys that can grab the rebounds. A fairly good rebounding team, averaging about 42.8 rebounds per game. 4 guys over double figure scoring. We mentioned the 2 guys over 14. You have a guy at 11.5, which would be Javon Ruffin. Then Trevor Baskin, who we mentioned about being their top rebounder, averages 10 points as well. Sebastian Ranick, 6 for 9 on the year, 67% from 3. Most 3-pointers on the team. Andres Jakumovics, again, no, I butchered that name, but 8 3-pointers on the year for 22 attempts, 36% on the year. As a team, they're averaging about 84 points a game, giving up about 65.8 points per game. Defensively, holding teams shooting from the field about 37% and about 30% from 3. Themselves, they're shooting about 40% from 3. Something of note there. We talked about their rebounding, assists, pass the ball okay, not fantastic. 16 assists per game, something you can possibly take advantage of there. Turn the ball over 17 times a game. That is something you can definitely take advantage of, try to get out in transition for Michigan State. And now looking at some Bart Torvik numbers. Adjusted efficiency offense, they are 163 in the country. Adjusted efficiency defense, 98.9. That is 68th in the country. Three-point shooting, as I said, 40.2 about per game. That's 24th in the country. Something to keep an eye out for. Now, on the year so far, Colorado is 4-0 on the year. They beat Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado, Cal State Fullerton, and Harvard. The only tight game was Northern Colorado. That game went to double overtime in a 90-88 win. Overall, for Michigan State, what we need to see, we saw some three-pointers go down at the end of the Samford game, really in the second half. We saw some three-pointers go down. So getting in the gym, like everyone talks about, smaller gym, softer rims, like everyone likes to talk about. Hopefully see some shots go down throughout this tournament as a whole, and can see that three-point shooting start to click up a little bit and get better on the year, because they are sitting at about, the last game bumped them up a little bit, but about 22% from three on the year. Doing a lot of other good things, though. 54th in adjusted efficiency offense, 24th adjusted efficiency defense. But overall, for Michigan State in this Colorado game, Bart Torvik has this as about a 7-point game, a 72-65 projected win for Michigan State in this one. I would like that. I think looking at some of the stuff, I think this could be an even bigger win for Michigan State, potentially, if you're able to control Colorado shooting from three. If you're able to do that, continue to get out and run and defend, lean on their defense that they have at times this year to get them to that 4-1 record that Michigan State has right now. If they can do that, see a couple shots go down, I think this will be a successful first game for Michigan State. Then hopefully move into a potential matchup against UConn on Tuesday. Now, what would be a successful trip for Michigan State? Obviously, yes, would love to see them play in that championship game and win it on Wednesday. But I'm going to go with the boring answer. I think 2-1. If you can go into December with only 2 losses, you got a pretty favorable schedule in December for Michigan State. Their 2 Big Ten games coming up after this one, at Minnesota and then at home versus Nebraska. Should more than likely be favored in those 2 games. Bart Torvik does have them favored, slight favorite against Minnesota at Minnesota, and then a favorite against Nebraska at home. Then you got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of December until you move into Big Ten play to kick off January. So if you can get through the rest of the calendar year with only 2 losses, so leaving this tournament 2-1, I think that would be a big positive. Now, that doesn't mean beat Colorado, get blown out by UConn, and then, squeak out a win against, either North Carolina, Dayton, Iowa State, or Auburn in that 3rd game in the consolation bracket. Not what that means. We want to see them compete against, assuming UConn in that 2nd game, within 8 to 10, if you can keep that there, and then look good in your other 2 games, I think it'll be a successful trip for Michigan State. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. As I said, we'll be back with a recap for this one, and then we'll be back with a preview for Game 2 on Tuesday. So that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.